am turning 79. Hard to believe. It's been my tradition on YouTube to post a video each year of the current state of my physical being, doing various either the practice, my strength training, and this year is going to be no exception. This video will be in two parts. One just kind of showing my normal strength training routine, and also the second part will be showing how my Kung Fu has kept my agility, flexibility, and skill. You know, as we get older, we lose our muscle mass. It's just kind of a state of affairs. And we lose our bone density, we lose our flexibility. And so the practice that I maintain, which is two-based, strength training and my Kung Fu, are meant to combat these effects as age has on our body. And these videos are meant to be a honest depiction of my state of deterioration. So the first part of this video will be, again, just a short clip of my strength training routine. I'm a strong advocate of strength training to maintain strength in your daily life. And of course, strength training maintains your bone density, which is very important to people as they get older, because when they fall, you know, their bones are more fragile if they don't maintain the density. And again, the Kung Fu, the agility, just the jumping up and down and going into the low drop stance, helps prevent falls as well, because it maintains your balance as well as your ability to adapt to being unbalanced. I mean, one of the things I believe in is being comfortable in being off balance is as important as trying to maintain balance, because you're not always going to maintain that balance. So when you start to fall or become off balance, just to practice to maintain some of these kind of leaps and jumps and transitions to a falling stance and up and all that you'll see requires adaptation to being off balance as well. So, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that I'd like to give a big thank you for my YouTube audience. We just reached 2,000 a week and a half ago, and I'm really happy that the videos are beneficial to the viewers. Thank you for everything and the support that you've given me. In this portion of the video, I'm going to both discuss and demonstrate the agility and flexibility needed and developed by Master Ying's Northern Shaolin. Sifu Guo was an old school teacher, and he really demanded a lot of students to show discipline before he would actually teach them. Of course, he's famous for his chin to toe for his Tai Chi, but that also extended to all students in all of the various curriculums that he taught. And especially in the Northern Shaolin, he demanded that students be able to do chin to toe before they learn different forms. And so the flexibility developed by chin to toe was to loosen the hamstrings for both the straight and toe back straight leg kicks in the Northern Shaolin. And also the idea that from the bow stance being the bow, and then the back leg being like the arrow, bow and arrow, that as you come through for the kick, the looser this hamstring was developed by the chin to toe stretch, the easier it was to get that kick loose and high. Again, one of the characteristics of Master Guo's Shaolin is it's based on being loose. It's not, although many people consider Shaolin as a hard form, is actually not in essence based on hardness, not like rigidity. And the essence of his Northern Shaolin was based on being relaxed and loose and letting the explosive power of the root come through into the final extension. So in many ways, it's actually more internal style than you think. But a lot of people that are steeped in the internal tradition, internal arts traditional, tend to kind of look down on Shaolin as being external. Sifu always encouraged people to start out with Shaolin because it was the greatest teacher of fundamentals. Um, and if you were young, he always would encourage you or actually demand that you study the Shaolin first. I myself actually started off with Tai Chi first because I was a young hippie. But then when I got into the Shaolin, I learned to really love it. The characteristics of the Shaolin is that it's a very moving form style. It's not like a face-to-face combat like Wing Chun might be, but it's more like movement. And movement generates evasiveness and also the power. And so in the form itself, there's many changes of position from high to low and from low to forward, so forth. And so this is characterized by the demands of the style into these various difficult postures. And in this segment of the video, I'm going to present a montage of some of the more difficult movements inherent in his both Northern Shaolin form and some of his weapons, and also some of the demands of the same essence in Tai Chi. All of Sifu Guo's kicks were basically straight leg kicks, not a snap kick. And so, of course, straight leg kick demands higher degree of flexibility rather than a snap kick here. Um, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of the more difficult movements, and some of the movements I'll kind of describe kind of the changes in position and the difficulty in the movements. But it's going to be kind of a montage. It's not going to be uh, a form of any sort. It's going to be movements out of various forms that are more challenging. And they're challenging not only to the beginning student, but they're challenged to seasoned practitioners as well, just because of the difficulty and change of position, distance, elevation, so forth. I started studying the Northern Shaolin of Master Ying around 1970. So I've been doing this particular style of Kung Fu for 55 years. And I'm turning 79. And I attribute my ability to both do this and my agility and fluidity to the many years of practice. I don't know how many people around the age of 80 are still doing their Northern Shaolin, but I've managed to keep my practice intact. I don't do it every day. I don't want to wear my body out, but I do practice constantly, and I do like to maintain my flexibility by doing the practice. So in this first move that I'm going to show you, it's going to be typify a high crane stance into a low drop falling stance and into a forward punch in the bow stance position. The difficulty of this move is basically going from the high crane on one leg and then dropping down into the low falling stance. And again, being a style characteristic of highs and lows, the higher you can go to the lower you can go is the best expression of the particular style. So this move will start from this position, and it's going to go into the high crane. Then you're going to pivot, drop down low, and punch. So more full speed, it looks like this. Again, this demands a certain amount of agility just to drop down on one leg into that low falling stance and then project your power from the bow stance into the punch. Master Ying's saber form is directly connected to his Shaolin forms, and you'll see the similarities. The progression of the Shaolin curriculum was first you start off with Tan Tui, the 10 roads of Tan Tui, and then you progress to the second form, Chachuan, and then from there you learn the Dandao, the saber, and then after that you learn the third form, Arlong. So you're going to see how similar the opening is from the crane that I demonstrated to the opening of the sword movement. Again, from the crane stance, and then drop down into the low drop falling stance into forward blade hand strike. So after the opening, you're going to end up in here, and then here, drop down low into blade hand strike. So you can see the similarity between the high crane stance into the drop stance into the bow stance. Very similar. So again, the degree of agility needed for performing these movements is the ability of balance in the crane, and then the dropping one leg down off your right leg into the low drop stance. And that just the ability to do that into that low drop stance as low as you can go, and then pop back up into the forward bow stance is one of the super characteristics of his Northern Shaolin. And that's part of the reason why I'm kind of breaking this up, because a lot of times when you watch somebody performing the form, you're going to miss a lot of these little nuances and details. So I want to kind of go through this kind of more in a very detailed manner, so you can kind of see and understand the agility and flexibility needed to perform these forms. This one comes from the second form of his northern Shaolin, Chachuan. And again, it's going to be from a crane stance, one-legged crane stance, and then a high crescent kick, and then drop from that high crescent kick into a low drop falling stance. And again, the difficulty is lowering your body down on one leg only, kind of a reverse um, one-legged squat, and also trying to get that leg extended out. And in my lessons, I talked about as the hand goes out, I imagine my hand and my leg connected to each other. So I'm kind of helping lift my leg by the extension of the hand is how I visualize it. So again, it goes from this position here into the low drop stance, and then forward bow stance into elbow block. Okay, one more time. At age 79, being able to perform these movements with fluidity and some agility is a blessing in itself. And a lot of them, once you're able to do them, it's kind of really fun because you're flying through the air and you're dropping down low, popping up high, and you just kind of just having to practice and develop them will make you very, very strong and flexible and agile. But now being able to have mastered the moves and just perform them at your will is even more fun. And so this is one of my kind of fun favorite moves because I love the feeling of having to jump way high up and then drop into that falling stance. And this is going to come out of the saber form as well. It's about the, I think it's the fourth section of the saber form. Again, see if we can. This next move comes out of the third form of Master Guolin Ying's Northern Shaolin, Arlong. And it's a fairly difficult move because you're jumping from the falling stance on one side and kind of flipping in the air to the falling stance on the other side. So this is like probably one of the hardest ones to perform correctly. For those of you that have made it this far in watching the video, congratulations and a big thank you. Most YouTubers have a very small attention span. And for you, I'm going to present a special bonus feature, which will be me doing Chachuan at age 79. So enjoy.